Where we at?
We on the north side with it, man. We in the Ville neighborhood with it, man.
That's where you from?
Yeah, you could say this kind of where I'm from. This is where I spent a lot of my years. I was born in the Cochran, though. I was born downtown in the Cochran. I probably was down in the Cochran all the way up until like 3rd, 4th grade. I went to Patrick Henry down there. Then we ended up in the Ville. You know, and I'm grown now, so I ain't in the Ville no more, but mom's still down here. Mom's ain't going nowhere. Mom say the only way she'll leave is if she could pick up her house and take it with her. So that's the only way mom's gonna leave. But for the most part, man, this neighborhood kind of helped me understand what life was about. You know, either you gonna do something positive and try to make it, or you gonna fall off into the same old stories that we hear a lot of people fall off into every day. You know, so at the end of the day, it's a choice. You got a choice.
Everybody that fuck with G-Way, man.
You just can't worry about what the next person thinks of your choice. Because if you worry about what the next person thinks of your choice, it's a lot of people that made the wrong choices.
That you my partner, but you still don't get me. And if it's hating jealousy, then pussy come and get me. I keep a lady by my side, no Bobby and Whitney.
You know, so I just start making choices, doing things that I know I could do that would help me get to this point. You know, I'm 38 years old now. I'll be 39 this year. And without some of the choices that I made, I wouldn't have made it to see this age. I wouldn't be here talking to you today. We gonna run you through the whole story. We gonna start from A to B. We gonna tell you how I got to this point, man. We gonna make a way. We definitely gonna make a way so these kids, so our youth could know that it's a choice involved. You can always make the choice. And it don't matter where you from. It's all about just getting there. You can just get there by making the right choices. So we just gonna make the right choices. And I'm gonna show y'all every choice that I had to make up to this point. Where we was in, where I've been, where I'm going, all things retro, everything in between. Just gonna make it happen, man. Y'all tap into this. I'm gonna take y'all on this ride, man. Take y'all on this ride. Let's get it.
You ain't got a plan. Wanna be a real nigga, lacking us to be a man.
What's up with it? What's up with it, up? Chilling? Yeah. You alright? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, up.
All things retro. What is it?
Man, all things retro, man. I've always had this passion for sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Funny story, man. I remember this saying, and I just always take this with me, no matter where I go, no matter how I think about it, no matter what I want to do. I had somebody that was once upon a time important in my life, or I thought was important in my life, or I thought needed in my life, or whatever the case may be. You know, told me, don't nobody care about sneakers like you care about sneakers. So your brand basically ain't gonna never reach no kind of level. But here I am 4 years later, man. 4 years later, man. I started All Things Retro just as a merch brand. But I always wanted to be bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? I never just wanted to make clothes. I never just wanted to be a designer. I wanted to do things like give back to my community, you know, help struggling kids, help struggling parents, you know, keep them involved in things that my parents was able to keep me involved in and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And there's just a lot of kids out here that just don't have the means or don't have the opportunity. So I just want to lend a helping hand where I can or where I could. And still to this day where I can, you know. So we created what we call the Retro Foundation, you know. That's the Really Excited to Reach Out Foundation. Basically what we do with that foundation is from our merch sales, you know, things like that. We've been able to help parents and help kids purchase things like cleats, hooping shoes, you know, athletic gear. We've been able to help them pay for registration fees to be a part of certain activities, certain basketball programs, football programs, whatever the case may be, man. So it was always bigger than making merch to me. What I did was I just tied my passion into sneakers into that, you know what I'm saying? So as far as my merch, I just try to, you know, make a lot of stuff that match with the sneakers and all that kind of stuff, you know, and it's been fun, man. And 4 years later, man, I couldn't tell you that I thought I'd be at the point that I'm at now, you know, and it's just been an amazing journey, man. Shout out to the city, man. St. Louis, they've been rocking with me, man, full circle, man, 100%, man. And I appreciate it, man. And I couldn't have did this without the city, man. Shout out to some of my peers, you know, William Morris, you know, Kurt Brady. You know, it's a lot of people that I can name that's already in the industry, you know, but they helped me, gave me a lot of advice, you know, hooked me up with a manufacturer or two, things like that, man. But big shout out to Amy Vaughn. I mean, it just wouldn't be all things retro without her. You know, she, you know, I might be the face of it, you know, but as far as the hard work behind the scenes, the supporting me, the help keeping me motivated, staying in my shit, you know, the paperwork, you know, all that, man. It's, you know, it wouldn't be possible without her. You know what I'm saying? So I forever love her for that. And she been nothing but a support system and a staple for me. And I appreciate her to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? But man, here we are. We in year 4. We still grinding. We still making it happen. You know, in the midst of all this, all things retro stuff, you know, I've been able to start my own youth program. You know, so that's like one of the most beautiful things. That's one of my most proudest accomplishments in life, man. One of my most proudest accomplishments in life, besides having my own kids, besides my 2 daughters, starting my own youth program, it's one of my most proudest accomplishments in life. And, you know, we still at the beginning, still learning, still working things out, but you got to start from somewhere, you know. So here we are, man. We only about 6 months in with the youth program, so we still got a long way to go. A lot of learning to do, a lot of things to put together, but you know, we gonna grind. We gonna grind. Plan on opening a full community center, all things retro recreational complex. Still coming soon. Full community center. I mean, basketball, football, baseball, you know, just recreation, tennis, golf, you know, whatever. We gonna keep these kids active. We gonna keep them out these streets, and we gonna make it do what it do, man. And just stay along for the journey, man. We gonna keep pushing, for sure. And you know, you get like your normal influences from like athletes, you know what I'm saying? So just, you know, everybody wanted to be NBA bound or NFL bound growing up, you know. So you grow up, want to be like Mike, want to be like Deion Sanders, all that kind of stuff, you know. But one of my biggest influences is a guy by the name of Harold Webster. You know, Harold Webster, shout out to Trotter, St. Louis Trotter gang, y'all know what it is. You know, but Harold Webster kind of took a lot of us up under his wing. You know, he was like a father figure to a lot of us that didn't have fathers or fathers wasn't around. You know, so just as a basketball coach, he was a mentor. You know, you could stay at his house when you ain't have nowhere to lay your head. You know, he helped you out, put a couple dollars in your pocket if you needed it, things like that. And you know, from the time I was about 14 years old, all the way up until now, you know, he the same guy. You know, and it's been plenty of us that could vouch that he just showed us the way, man. And I don't really even think he know how much he mean to a lot of us. I don't really think he have a clue as to how much he mean to a lot of us, you know. But I'm gonna give him his flowers right now, you know. And if I've never told him, you know, I appreciate you, Harold. I appreciate you to the fullest. You know, my grandparents was big inspirations too, you know, because they always gave me inspiration to say, you know, you could be whatever you want to be in this world, you know. And that's just the mentality everybody gotta have. You know, that's just the mentality these kids gotta have. And somebody gotta provide these kids with that type of hope. You know, back in the day when I was growing up, you had what you call big homies. You know, when I grew up, the big homies let you know what you was cut out for and what you wasn't cut out for. You know, they'll tell you, this ain't your lane, bro. I'm gonna need you to go pick up that basketball. This ain't your lane. I'm gonna need you to go pick up that football. And they stayed in your stuff until you did what you were supposed to do. Nowadays, these guys got big homies, and they big homies ain't like that. They let their youth, they let these kids, they let them dwell off into stuff that they know these kids ain't built for. And you know, that's why so much violence these days, because these kids don't want to grind for nothing. They don't want to work hard for nothing. You know, they see this spotlight. They see all these people doing certain things, and they think the only way you can get to that stuff is the streets, you know. And as long as they have that mind frame, as long as they don't got nobody telling them that it's other ways, then that's what they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons that I kind of created this documentary, because in all actuality, I'm a nobody. I'm just a regular guy. I'm a nobody. But I can be a positive role model to people and to kids that need it. You know what I'm saying? Because they look at me and they pay attention to me and they be like, he drive nice cars, he got jewelry, this and that and this and that. But they can also look at me and say, hey, he did this stuff from selling hoodies and t-shirts. I ain't got to be out here doing nothing wrong, doing nothing out the ordinary. I can sell hoodies and t-shirts too, and I can drive me nice cars, or I can have nice jewelry. You know, I also did it by being a cable man. I ain't gonna sit here and act like this all that got me here. You know, I grinded. I got a job. I work a 9 to 5. You know, so I want the kids to be able to look at me and say, hey, I can work a job and live how I want to live. Bro, what up, bro? What's good with it? Man, you be everywhere, don't you? I saw you in Overland.
Everybody that works is ready to do this podcast.
Oh, man. All right now. See, that's one of my homies, hooping with one of my homies. He a little younger than me, but on the basketball court and stuff like that, he an Amazon driver. He making his money. You know, he could be out here doing something else. Y'all heard him say people scared to come down to the hood and do this route, so nobody don't want to do it. You know, but we shouldn't be scared to come back to where we from. You know, I ain't saying you got to be down here all the time. I ain't saying you got to get mixed up in what still go on down here. But this what you call home. This what you call home. You should be able to come visit your mama, your sister, your brother, your grandparents, anytime you want to come visit them and not have to worry about looking over your shoulder, worried about nothing. You know, I'm sitting in the middle of the Ville right now with 20,000 around my neck. You know, that ain't nothing that I'm bragging about. I work hard for this. I work hard to shine the way that I want to shine. You know, and I just want to be inspiration to the youth to where they look at me and they go, if he could go to work and do that, I could go to work and do that too. If he could hustle his brand and do that, then I could create me a brand and hustle and do that too. And that's just the biggest reason for this documentary, man. Like I said, I'm a nobody. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not a rapper. I'm not a street guy. I'm not any of that. I'm just a regular guy. I just like doing regular things and being a regular guy. So a lot of that is what our youth need. A lot of that is what they need to see. You know, they can see the limelight, but they think the limelight come with you got to be involved in these streets to be part of the limelight. No, I could be part of the limelight if I want to be. If I want to be. I just did it by being a cable man. I just did it by creating my own stomping grounds. And when you create your own stomping grounds, the sky's the limit. So that's, like I said, that's mainly what this documentary about. We just gonna take y'all, like I said, from start to finish, man. It's Retro Reggie, man. I'm gonna do what I do. Let's get it. This kind of where we at Tandy Park right now. It's kind of where my hoop dream started. You know, when I moved to the Ville, about 5th grade, it wasn't really nothing to do. But I had when I first moved to the Ville, next door to my mom's house. Shout out to Greg and Craig Tumlin, Chico and Craig Tumlin, man. And Ian Tumlin too. When I first moved here, they was the first people I met. And then we used to go around to Tandy Park. You know what I'm saying? And just be on the court, hooping and stuff. And I want to say maybe about fast forward to like 8th grade was when I probably started really taking a liking to basketball. It was probably like 6th grade, but 8th grade, you know what I'm saying? That's the year before high school. You trying to figure out what high school you gonna go to and stuff. Things like that, you know what I'm saying? But all through those years, man, this was my stomping ground, man. You know, you come over here. We used to be Tandy Park, let's see. Summertime, you know, it used to be a little hot. Sometimes I used to come a little early to get some shots up and stuff. But for the most part, we all used to come here like 6 o'clock, man. It'd be me, Chico, Craig, you know, M Nut from Aldine, or everybody from Aldine, Cobrillion and Garfield, all up here. You had cats over from Maffett on this side, all up here hooping, you know, and 6 o'clock, man. But this is where I go back to tell y'all about decision making, especially kids, you youth, our kids. Listen to this decision making, man. From 6 o'clock till the sun go down, we was right here hooping. Everybody. The gangsters, the hoopers, the athletes, the gamblers, everybody. We was all on the court hooping. You know what I'm saying? But when that sun went down, that's when you had to start making your decisions. Cause when that sun went down, the gangsters went and got off into their own thing. The gamblers, they went and got off into their own thing. You know what I'm saying? So you had somebody like me had to make a decision because I really wanted to go with them because I wasn't ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? And it's dark now, so you know they ain't had the lights on like that back then. You know, so it's time to go home. You know, when the lights did come on, still wasn't light enough to shoot no baskets. Maybe a little bit, but once it got pitch black, it was over with from there. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to hang out. I wanted to be with the guys. It didn't matter which group I chose. I just wanted to be with somebody. But like I said, man, it just came down to making choices. You
You know what I'm saying? Because I could have went with the gangsters. I could have went with the gamblers, you know, but I knew that wasn't me, and they knew that wasn't me. So they wouldn't allow me to hang out with them. Man, if you gonna do something, you better stay on that court. You better, I don't care if it's dark. You ain't finna come over here with us. This ain't what you about. This ain't what we on, you know what I'm saying? So my freshman year, I went to Cardinal Ritter, you know what I'm saying? This one thing I got to say about people who like to be like, they got it out the mud. Now, all things retro, I got all things retro out the mud. I built this from the dirt. But man, stop disrespecting y'all parents saying y'all got it out the mud, because a lot of y'all parents gave y'all good lives. Y'all just made the choices to do other shit. So stop saying y'all got it out the mud, because I could say I got it out the mud just because I'm from the trenches, just because I'm from the hood, but I'd be lying. I ain't know I was poor. I ain't know we ain't have nothing. We had everything we wanted and asked for growing up. My parents paid for me to go to private school. I went to private school, paid for me to go to private school. So I would never disrespect my parents and say I got it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of y'all, everybody just want to be so street oriented. You know, pay attention. I'm gonna show you that you ain't gotta be that. You know what I mean? So this is where it all started at, on the court, man. We used to go right in there, in the big gym. You know, we had some league games. We used to play, Northside Community Center was down the street. Shout out to Fabian, shout out to Rick, Big Rick, shout out to, man, there's so many people I can name, man. The list goes on, man. And you know, I just like to thank everybody that was part of that, man, to help me stay out of trouble, help me do the things that I wanted to do and that I was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here today with it, man. Still grinding, still working. You know, like I said, man, I'm just trying to be a positive role model. Everybody always want to look up to somebody that's high profile, high celebrity, high things like that, but you can't relate to those people because you're not in their shoes. You know, you're not Lil Baby, you're not Young Jeezy, you're not all those people. But a lot of people are just like me, And it's a lot of people that's just like me that's not making it out, that's not making it. You know what I'm saying? For one reason or another, they getting involved in things they shouldn't be involved in, you know? So like I said, ultimately, this is just about somebody looking at me. I'm the same person as you. You the same person as me. Just what decisions are you gonna make? Because I know what decisions I'm gonna make. And we gonna get down to the bottom of it, man. And we gonna keep grinding. Retro Gang, yes sir. Y'all see what it is. All things retro. All things retro. This that new. All things retro. Get this new. All things retro. Yeah, man, I don't want to necessarily say I was bored when I did this. I'm not a rapper, first of all. Let me remind y'all, I am not a rapper. I can't rap. I wasn't born to rap. None of that, you know, but Kanye is like an inspiration. And what I mean by like an inspiration is I don't thrive to be like Kanye, but in my opinion, that's a good person to want to be like. But my point is his creative juice is always spinning. You know what I'm saying? So when I started All Things Retro, it wasn't necessarily gonna be just like this one thing, like, oh, I'm gonna make clothes and that's it. You know, that was, to be honest, if y'all want me to be honest, making clothes was like last on my list. Like, I didn't, you know, of course I wanted to put my stamp on something, put my logo on something, so it'll be visual and stuff like that. But for the most part, I ain't, you know, that wasn't, you know, people want to be like, oh man, it's this new clothing line out called All Things Retro. Eventually I just start running with it because whatever, but that was like the least of my worries, you know, that was like the least of my plans or ideas. You know, my biggest thing for All Things Retro was to just be All Things Retro. You know, I'm this guy that, you know, I'm into a whole lot of retro stuff. You know, if you know me, you know I rock all the Mitchell and Ness throwback jerseys, retro jerseys. You know, my shoe game crazy, all my retro sneakers, all that kind of stuff. So the name I just kind of ran with Retro Reggie and all things retro. The name I just kind of ran with. So, you know, all things retro was really based around this whole organization that I wanted to create, this whole empire that I wanted to create. Like, if I came and cut your grass, you know, all things retro lawn and landscaping came. I don't care what you say, but you know, just tell them all things retro came to cut your grass. If I shoveled your snow, if I washed your car, if I whatever, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted you to be like the dude from All Things Retro did it, cause I just wanted it to be this big empire. You know, you could call me a clothing line. You know, y'all obviously see what I got going with the youth organization, and we still trying to build that up. You know, it's not easy. It's a hard thing, but I'm here for the challenge. You know what I'm saying? I got some other stuff coming up under the All Things Retro umbrella too, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to get it set in stone before I release any of that information. You know, but like I said, I just wanted it to be this entity, this empire, this just thing that I just started from the bottom and just made it great. You know what I'm saying? It's my shit. I love it. I like it. I like what I do. You know what I'm saying? If you spend so much money in sneakers, you spend so much money on sneakers and stuff like that, my thing was to take my passion for that and just turn it into a bunch of other things that I also like to do, whether it be sports, you know, education of the youth, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It didn't really matter. It didn't even have to have a certain pinpoint. I just wanted it to be all things retro. If I open up a gas station right now, guess what it's gonna be called? All things retro. You know what I'm saying?
Petro.
Retro Petro, however you want to put it. You know, so I'm just trying to, you know, the whole purpose of this thing is just, I hope people see this, and I hope people watch this, and I hope they put their kids in front of this so they kids could look and they could say, he from some of the same places that I'm from. He from some of the same places that we all from. And you don't necessarily gotta be like, we don't have no resources out here. Cause the number one excuse is, where we from, we always like to say we don't got nothing. Now, we don't got a lot. I ain't gonna sit in front like we just got all the resources and everything we need, you know, but that one community center that's in the neighborhood, utilize it, you know, utilize it. You know, the problem is we got 20 liquor stores within a mile radius and only one community center in the whole area, you know, but you still got a choice. You probably gonna hear me say choices a lot in this documentary, but you still got a choice. You know, I chose to go hoop every day. I chose to go get on the court. You know, I never was like a drinker, a smoker, you know, none of that kind of stuff. And we all have our little times in the streets where we want to be hustlers, try to move a little bit, thinking we knowing what we doing. But even that, you got to be cut out for, you know. So just trying to show people, especially these kids, man, that, man, you could create your own lane. And it's up to you what you do with it. You could run with it. You know, market yourself like you're going to market anything else. And if you do that, everything will pay off. You know, I'm not rich from this. But I got a vision and a plan to try to get rich from this, you know, but you got to start from somewhere. And if you never start from nowhere, then you just never know what could happen, you know. So stop using the excuse, cause where we from, we don't have no resources. Where we from, you can't make it out, cause all this is to do is this and that and this and that, you know. Well, I'm still here. I've been the same places we all done been. Lived in the same hoods we all done lived in. I got partners that didn't make it. I got partners that did make it. I got people that I know that didn't make it, people that I know that did make it. And it all boiled down to whatever choice they made. That's all it ever boiled down to. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm gonna take y'all on a little journey back in time. For those that know, we in the Delmore Kings Highway area. And if you know, you know.
But this is kind of where my sneaker journey started. You know what I'm saying? I graduated high school in 2002. And that Beauty and More store back in 2002 used to be Street Legends. Used to straight be Street Legends, man. And Street Legends was one of the dopest stores that St. Louis ever had, you know, hands down. I don't care what store y'all mention or name to try to put in front of it, y'all lying. You know, much respect to Arso, they did their thing, stuff like that. But they wasn't no Street Legends. I don't care what you say. They wasn't no Street Legends. Street Legends was the Mecca. This Delmore and Kings Highway location was the Mecca, man. And you used to just pull up here, and back in these days, everybody had money. Back in these days, everybody had, however they was getting it. However they was getting it. Everybody had money. You know, so I used to make like $7.25 an hour at this store. But you would never be able to tell, for the simple fact, of course, I was young before I went to college and stuff like that. I was young, but Street Legends used to give us these gift certificates. And this how much money it was in the area. As you can see, we got the Scan neighborhood over there, all back through there. You got the Scan neighborhood. So everybody from the Scan at that time had money. A lot of them was free. A lot of them wasn't already locked up and stuff like that. You know, so all them was outside and had money. You had the guys from the east side that came over. Before Street Legends opened up that North County store, you had everybody coming from North County down to Street Legends. So what Street Legends used to do is they used to give us a gift certificate once you hit $50,000 sales for the month. And that might sound like a lot, but back in those days, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing. I used to get $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in sales per month. You know what I'm saying? And you get a gift certificate. No, I ain't used to get that much. I'm lying. I ain't used to get that much. I'm over exaggerating a little bit. Forgive me. So I never got $50,000 because that was low. So I will say $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 was obtainable easy. I used to get that all the time. The store probably used to make $400,000, $500,000 a month, if not more, at the store as a whole, if not more. You know what I'm saying? But you used to take those gift certificates and you could use them in the store and get whatever you want, you know, just off the gift certificate money. So that's how my sneaker collection started building up. That's how my wardrobe started building up. If you remember stuff like Academics, LRG, you wasn't there if you ain't rock LRG. Before there was designer, before y'all got all, I mean, designer been around and all that kind of stuff. But before you talked about going to the Louis store and this and that and this and that, you talked about LRG. You talked about Jabot straps. You talked about size 60 throwback jerseys. And you talked about LRG. LRG, Lifted Research Group, if you know, you know, was on fire. On fire. And Street Legends had them. I remember I used to come to work on Saturday mornings and the line would just be from the door all the way down to Taco Bell, all the way across the street for the J's, for the Air Force Ones, for whatever was cracking on their release day, man. And there was some good times, man. There was some real good times. You know, it was a lot more money back then and a lot less violence. I'm not saying there was no violence, but it was a lot more people getting money and a lot less violence. However they was getting money, you know, it is what it is. I'm just saying the streets was plentiful. Everybody was happy. Everybody was, you know, just showing off, enjoying the fruits of their labor and getting money. You know, it was violence in those times, but then it wasn't like it is now, you know. So I got to give a shout out to my girl Kelly Burney, Shawnee, Greg, and dang, I forgot what's the name of the name. But Kelly Burney hired me. Shout out to Ryan too. Ryan Roberts, man. If you know, you know, man. If you know, you know. You know, man, we used to be up in that thing kicking it. That was like the hangout spot, the everything, man. That was a gold mine, you know. I hate Street Legends. Didn't last to this day, but they had a nice run. They had a nice run, man. So that was
the beginning part of my adulthood and starting to realize that I need to start figuring out things and making some decisions. But it's still, even years after that, it took me a minute to realize, you know, what was going on. I was just content with new clothes and new shoes at that point, you know, so it was, life was just a little different at that moment, you know. But this area, man, was just plentiful as a whole, you know, everything was good about it. It was just life at that time. You talking about clubs, plush, society, you know, mono, beano, you name it, you know. Life was just good in them times. And man, these kids just don't know the half, boy. They don't know the half, you know. But we gonna head to pick up Mom Dukes. I gotta pick Mom Dukes up from work, so man, we gonna head to pick up Mom Dukes, and we gonna chop it up once we get to Mom Dukes, man. Y'all stay tuned, man. Keep watching. For you. Let me get that back on. Let me get that back on the radio. I ain't worried. There we go.
Motivational purpose.
Oh. Yeeks.
Work hard, invest in yourself, believe in yourself. Let's go.
Man, the city streets.
All things retro. All things
So I don't know if I finished the story about how I did this, you know what I'm saying? It was, like I was saying, it's just something that I just wanted to do, just being creative. I woke up one day and I was like, I want to make a song that represent my brand. Like, I want to make a song talking about my brand. You know, I ain't trying to get rich off of it. I ain't trying to get no record deal or nothing, but I just want to do things outside the box. When you marketing your brand, when you talking about your brand, you know, when you're a rapper and you already a rapper, that's easy for you to do. It's nothing, you know. Rappers normally have their labels and stuff like that, but you don't know too many brand owners that are rappers. You know, normally rappers create brands, but brand owners don't create music, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So like, I wasn't a rapper. I am not a rapper. But I woke up and was like, man, I just want to make a song. Like, shit, I want to, in my blood or in my heart, I feel like I should have been a rapper. I don't know why God didn't bless me with the skills to have them bars, but it just didn't work out like that. Because it just didn't work out like that. But that's just what I wanted to do, man. And it's just like what I'm doing now with this whole documentary thing. I'm a regular nobody. I'm a regular nobody. You know, I can talk to you about the streets because I'm from the streets. Meaning that I lived in the hoods that you lived in. We all lived in. But I just made different choices to avoid what was going on in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So just be creative in your endeavors, man. And don't worry about what nobody got to say. Don't worry about how nobody feel. Whether you think it's good or bad, you'll never know if you don't try. You know, so I think I was referencing Kanye, man. Kanye is like a genius to me, you know. Because you can say what you want about him, but he don't give a F. He don't care. He gonna do what he want to do, how he want to do, when he want to do it. And it seemed like he always been like that. And it seemed like that's what has helped him get to the point that he's at. You know, I mean, what'd he say? They didn't even want to sign him as a rapper. They just wanted him to make beats. So, you know, you could go from nobody want to sign you as a rapper. They only want you to make beats, to being one of the best producer rappers out ever, to becoming a billionaire, to becoming a fashion icon, to becoming, I mean, you can say what you want about the Kardashians, but the Kardashians cold-blooded. That boy married a Kardashian. He married the Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? So you could say what you want about him. You know what I'm saying? That boy a genius. That boy a genius. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be creative in my endeavors. You know, I want to be creative with my brand. You know, who knows? I may make it to be Kanye in the tax bracket. I may not. But if I don't never try, I don't never know. I'll never know. So that's why I'm always grinding. I'm always putting all things retro in your ear. All things retro. All things retro. You know, it works. Because when I go places, you see I go to high school basketball games and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I show up to a basketball game in my job uniform. I ain't gonna say the company I work for. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I'm sick of their ass. But you get kids in the high school or kids period. Oh, that's the all things retro dude. That's the all things retro dude. You know, that may not mean much to you, but for me, that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. Why? Because somebody paying attention to what I'm doing. Somebody is, just for them to recognize me in a uniform that has nothing to do with all things retro. So you got to take that kind of stuff into consideration. You know, and those just be feel-good stories just to keep grinding, just to keep going. We get a lot of people that talk about St. Louis don't support. Man, I'm gonna tell you like this, I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way because I'm 4 years in. I'm 4 years in with All Things Retro. The backstory on All Things Retro, I used to have a brand called Kicks on My Life. All Things Retro, before it was created, was Kicks on My Life. But I was at a time in my life where the grind and the passion and the support just wasn't there. You know, I was in a bad relationship, you know, and things like that. And I just couldn't really focus on the things that I needed to focus on to be successful. You know, so eventually I decided that I was going to reboot it. And when the reboot came, it was All Things Retro. And here I am today, 4 years later. So I can't say St. Louis don't support. I think that's a false narrative. I think a lot of people that say that, the problem with them is they expect people to support, and people are not obligated to support you. Look, I hate to put it this way. But if you got some homeboys, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever the case may be, we as brand owners, or we as designers, or people who make clothes, or whatever the case may be, have came up with like this unwritten rule that people are supposed to support you just because they close to you, just because they your partner, just because they, and man, it's to be honest, man, they not obligated to support you. They don't have to support you if they don't want to support you. It's not an obligation. Now, I will say this. If they your partners or your girlfriend or your wife or whatever the case may be, and they ain't supporting you, then you might want to find some new partners, girlfriend and wife, or whatever the case may be. But man, nobody is, you know, people be feeling like, man, just because you buy something from somebody else, they supposed to buy something from you. Man, nah, man. What you worried about people that don't support you for? What you worried about? Just be worried about the people that support you. We ain't worried about who don't support. We worried about who been a part of the grind. What we worried about the people that don't support for? What we catering to them for? We ain't asking them what they like or how what can we do to get y'all to support us. No, to the people that support us, I appreciate y'all. To the people that support me, I appreciate y'all. Now, what can I do to help y'all out? What can I do to keep you all support? We ain't worried about who don't support. Eventually, somebody will jump on or hop on the bandwagon. And if they don't, then so be it. So a lot of people just be worried about the wrong thing. You know, yeah, it's been people that I done feel like should have supported me, but they didn't. So what? Well, I'm supposed to stop? I'm supposed to quit? You know, same people that I thought was down for me haven't supported me. But when they needed donations to run their fundraiser programs and this and that and this and that, I was right there, front and center. What you need? How can I help? What can I do? You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's how my blessings have came too. Because there's a lot more people that's talented, way more talented than me in this clothing line part of the business, this brand part of the business. But I'm just that guy that show love to everybody.
and it's reciprocated somehow, some way. So 4 years later, I'm still on the grind. 4 years later, I done went from making basic hoodies to cut and sew stuff. 4 years later, I done went from clothing brands to what I want to call it, foundations, to here we are with a whole youth organization. With a whole, man, y'all know the greatest feeling in the world. See, growing up, I played Matthew Dickey and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And growing up in them days, you know, you used to put on your uniforms, you used to be fresh, and this and that, all that kind of stuff. You be beating your pants when you come out to the, y'all remember that stuff? Coming out to the football, get dogs, get ready to roll. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? I got 6 basketball teams full of kids. Me, a regular nobody, ordinary, who just love what I do. I got 6 basketball teams full of kids. It'll be like 8 here in about 2 months. In about 2 months, full of kids that they put on their all things retro gear. They look good, they swagging, they having fun. In the middle of the huddle, they go 1, 2, 3, retro. You know how good that make me feel? You know how good that make me feel? But that was just stuff people said that's impossible for you to do. You can't do that. Who are you? You just a nobody. Nobody don't rock with you like that. Look at me now. Humbly speaking, look at me now, because it's still a long way to go. It's still a whole journey ahead. But look at me now. Look at me now. Kids, if you watching this, man, you can do anything you set your mind to. Anything you set your mind to. Y'all look up to these rappers, all these guys like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that. But I'm going to give you the real and the raw from an individual that you can see every day. That you can see really came from where you came from. No, I don't got rapper money or nothing like that, but I got a rapper mind. I might can't spit bars like a rapper, but I can think like one. Because to be a good rapper, you got to think. Somehow, some way, you got to think. You know what I'm saying? But I can think. You know what I'm saying? So when I think I can do something, which I think I can do everything, I'm going to do it. And if I fail, I fail. If I don't, I don't. Mom's got job, got to let me in. Yeah. What's up, OG? Trying to pick up my moms. I don't know the code to the gate or nothing. Appreciate it, bro. Yep. So, yeah, you just do anything you set your mind to, and you keep rolling with it, you know? Now I got a whole, we going to start football soon. I tried to start football last year, but I didn't do it right, and this just come with learning. I had a lot of parents sign their kids up for football, but we had so many mixed ages, so I didn't have enough kids to form a team. You know, I had, you know, 4 6-year-olds, 9 11-year-olds, you know, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So what we gonna do is we just gonna start it from scratch. We gonna start it from scratch. We just gonna start with the little kids, the 6 and 7-year-olds, and we gonna build up from there, man. We gonna keep it grinding, and we gonna keep it going. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest thing, the biggest thing I just want y'all to take from this whole thing, you know, is I represent the urban culture. You know, I know how to put on a suit and tie when it's time. You know, but for the most part, this is how I'm gonna show up. This is how I'm going to show up. And the reason I'm going to show up like this is because this is what our kids see in these rappers and these, you know, all this kind of stuff. This is what they see. But what they think is the only way to obtain these type of things is you got to rap. You got to be in the streets. You got to be robbing people, selling drugs, all that kind of stuff. Nah, man, I'm up. Hoodies and t-shirts, I'm up. I'm up. Yeah, I got a job in between, but hoodies and t-shirts, I'm up. I'm up. So when somebody say something to me, how you gonna be the head of a youth organization and your image? Well, what's my image? What's my image? Do you know me? Do you know me? Because I got a full-time job, 2 full-time jobs in corporate America. So do you know me? So ask me about my image, because my image is what your kids see every day. Every day. This is what they watch on YouTube. This is what the little dirts talking about killing each other and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever heard me say anything like that? Not one time. Not one time. So I want that image to be converted over into if he can do this doing hoodies and t-shirts and creating his own brand, creating his own lane, then I could do it too. I can do it too. So we could talk about image all day, and I'm gonna give you the real and the raw, because I like for you to question my image. I just part of the culture. I represent the culture. I love where I come from. I just chose a different path on how to get it. And I could teach your kids or show your kids or be an inspiration to your kids as a regular nobody. You know, and when we all start doing it, these kids' focus will be better. You know, they could thrive to have nice cars and gold chains and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But how are we teaching them to get it? You know, the so-called big homies out there ain't really teaching no more. They just letting the kids go out and do whatever instead of grabbing them by their hoodie or by their throat and saying, man, go find you something safe to do. They just letting them run wild, do whatever. You know, when I was growing up, big homies wasn't having that. Boy, if you don't take this basketball and get on away from us, let me try to stick around. He turned around again, I'm still there. He gonna stop whatever he doing, whether he in the middle of the dice game or whatever. He gonna stop whatever he doing. Hold on, y'all. Grab me by the collar, man. If you don't take this basketball and do what I said do. You know what I'm saying? We don't got that no more for these kids. We don't got that no more. So maybe somebody could watch my story and look and be like, well, damn, if he could do it, I can do it. And that's just the biggest take I want our kids to get from this. Our kids. You know, I got two daughters that I'm trying to put them in position to not have to work as hard as I've had to work. You know, I missed a lot of time with my daughters that I deeply regret. You know, I've always been a good father. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted, you know. But that time that you lost working 2 full-time jobs, not knowing when you going to get off work, you know. Now, I've did a good job of balancing, you know, parent-teacher conferences, basketball games, birthdays. I ain't missed none of that kind of stuff, you know, but still that normal everyday time, you know, just taking them to the skating rink, teaching them how to ride a bike, all that kind of stuff, man, that plays a part. So I don't want my kids to have to work as hard as I've had to work. And we just we gonna grind it out and thug it out. You know, y'all gonna see them in a minute in this thing. I don't know. They might talk about their dad bad, but we'll see. I don't think they're gonna have nothing bad to say about Pops. You know, but like I said, I got 2 daughters. A lot of us got kids out here, man. We trying to live for them. You know, once you start having kids, it's time to start thinking of a game plan, of a master plan. You can't live these streets forever. You guys that's out there living these streets, you can't live them. What you gonna leave your kids with? The scale? You gonna leave them with the scale? When you dead and gone, only thing you can hand over is the scale. Come on, man, you gotta leave them with something. Y'all gotta get these life insurance policies, because these kids out here wilding. You know, it ain't safe out in these streets. Everybody can talk about they doing they, man, I just stay out the way. Man, you can't stay out the way. Because once you come outside, anything can happen. So you gotta live life. I'm not involved in no kind of BS. But the moment I step outside, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to leave y'all with that, man. We waiting on Mom Dukes. Mom about to get left. Had to pick Mom Dukes up from the gig, you know. Mom Dukes been grinding her whole life. If we was poor when we was younger, we had no clue we was. We ate pork and beans and hot dogs and Roman noodles because we liked it. Not because we thought we was poor. We liked it. You know, because we had shrimp and steak at times. Now, I don't know what quality shrimp and steak it was, but we had shrimp and steak lots of times. But we ate pork and beans and hot dogs because we liked it. It was good to us. Roman noodles was good to us. You know what I'm saying? So Mom's been working her whole life. I got to find a plan to, you know, help moms retire, help moms, you know. Moms might see this, but I ain't going to tell her, but moms might see this, you know. I'm trying to pay off my mom's house for her, you know, and stuff like that. So maybe, hopefully, that could help her get off her feet a little bit. You know, she probably ain't going to stop working because I know my mom's and I see where I got the grind from. you know, but all y'all out there still out in these streets, you know, y'all been hustling for 20 years or whatever the case may be. Y'all so-called got all this money. Man, if your mom still paying rent, still got mortgage, man, what you hustling for? You ain't gonna return mom the favor? You know, that goes back to what I said. Everybody want to talk about they got it out the mud. Man, a lot of y'all ain't get it out the mud. A lot of y'all just chose to. A lot of y'all had good lives growing up. A lot of y'all was probably poor, but you ain't know you was poor. You ain't have no problem getting new Michael Jordans every week because mom made it happen. You ain't have no problem with having food on the table because mom made it happen. So you might have been poor, but in that time when you was growing up, you ain't know. So a lot of y'all all of a sudden get to this age and want to say you got it out the mud, man. You ain't get it out the mud. Everybody just want to be tough and hard. You ain't get it out the mud. You just chose to. You just dwelled off into something else. Choice. It's that choice you made. You know what I'm saying? I never disrespect my parents. I said it before. I never disrespect my parents and say I got it out the mud. Never. Never, ever. No, that's disrespect to my parents. You know, and it is what it is, man. And we gonna chop it up when Mom Deuce get in here. We gonna see what Mom Deuce got to say about me. Come on, Mom Deuce.
12 hours, that's what's up. I'm tired.
What time you went in?
2:15.
Oh. Why you go in so early? They got y'all catching up from them snow days?
Yeah, basically. Some of the stuff that didn't get delivered is coming in.
Who is that, you got?
Hello? Your brother picking me up from work. He was saying, who is that? What do they want? He getting video for his documentary. I guess he want me to lie about how good of a son he is.
Yeah.
You know Hillary died?
Who?
Hillary.
Who?
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
Who is Hillary?
All right, I'll call you. I'll call you, honey. Yes. How you found out?
I had just put it on Facebook.
Oh yeah, he died last Wednesday.
Last Wednesday. Yeah, that's just...
Yeah. All right, honey. He videoing something. He want me to tell lies. You want to tell a lie too? You always
what
put
up,
something
sis?
on Facebook talking about how much you love your brother, how proud you
Are you
are.
at work?
Brother, and I'm at work, and he's the best brother in the world.
She talking about she love her brother. He the best brother in the world. She want to get paid for that lie.
Yeah, she definitely won't get paid for that. Yeah, she definitely gonna send a request on Cash App for that.
You know what's coming behind it.
Yeah, buddy.
That's what's one guy out there. Oh my God.
All right.
All right, Danny.
Ooh, mama time.
What's up, Mom Dukes?
What's going on?
You gotta tell the world a little bit about your son. Man, you gotta. I know you and your COVID precautions, you know, but we got to hear you now. We can't hear you up under that
I
mask.
don't know where y'all been.
You can move it down a little bit now.
I just got tested and I'm vaccinated.
Okay, I'm vaccinated too.
Yeah, she love to be vaccinated.
Hey,
Talk about she
I'm
vaccinated. You know, so this
I
my
don't know where y'all young folks been.
this my mom gang. You know, Miss Robin. You know, I don't know. Have I put you through the ringer before?
Not really.
Not really. Not really. So yeah, this the person who worked so beautifully hard to have me where I'm at today. So this what I'll be saying about. I'm gonna say it again. Everybody talk about they got it out the mud. You know, this lady worked too hard for us to get it out the mud. We don't know nothing about the mud. We had clean sheets and beds all our lives. So, you know, I don't know what y'all definition.
Comforter and curtain.
Yeah, I don't know what people definitions of getting it out the mud being, but man, my mama paid for me to go to private school, so I don't know what kind of mud I could call that. You know, so what you got to say about your son, Ma Dukes?
He gave me hell going to that private school.
I ain't want to go there at first.
But he did thank me later on.
Yeah.
gave me hella hell. I still want some of my damn money back. Oops, sorry.
Talk your stuff, mama.
I'm just saying, I still want some of my damn money back. That was blood, sweat, and tears. I'm about to be doing this for 30 years.
Yeah, I was just telling her I got to find a way to get my mom's, you know, get you retired, you know, and stuff like that. That's why I'm pushing this All Things Retro so hard, you know. I got to return the favor. You know,
Can you return it by just giving me that little lick you owe?
Oh man, you gonna okay, mom.
That's that one little lick.
All right, mama. All right, I got you. You know, so what made y'all send me to Cardinal Ritter? Like, cause that's where Aunt Nikki went. Was that the thought process behind it?
Well, my thought process at the time was.
Mine was I could have just went to Normandy.
It was goofing off at Normandy, and you wasn't tall enough to where I thought you would get a basketball scholarship from Normandy. So mama wanted us to see, by that being a smaller school, you had a better chance of getting a scholarship because I wanted you out the hood. As simple as that. And I wanted that to be a stumping ground for you to be able to, you know, get out. Cause you never was street savvy like that, so it was like. Okay.
See y'all, I have not lied to y'all one time in this. Y'all heard it from mom. I said I'm from the streets. I lived in the streets, but I avoided the streets. See, a lot of y'all get on here and y'all get behind these cameras, get on this social media and Instagram, and y'all be lying. Want to be from the streets so bad.
You was on the block, but you wasn't from the block.
See what I'm saying? Have I lied one time? Have not lied,
but not on the block.
I have not lied one time. See what I'm saying? All y'all be getting behind these cameras and stuff. Y'all want to be from the streets so bad. Y'all want to be in the streets so bad. Y'all want to claim these blocks and stuff. Y'all know how many people y'all done lost on these blocks? And guess what street sign still standing? Where we at? Clara?
I mean, you tell them about your brother wanted to be, never been to a public school before in his life.
Man, y'all be down for y'all blocks and y'all hood, and the one thing that's still standing there is the street sign name. Y'all homies might be gone, y'all might have lost loved ones, best friends, all that. But you down for your block that's gonna never die. That's gonna, if you got homies from what we pulling up on Belt, if you got homies from Belt, if you from Belt, you grew up on Belt,
I'm starting to understand life.
For Belt,
I'm elevating and take a couple to their head. I'm meditating. They don't understand what I said, I just let them hate. Hoping whatever I did get me into heaven gates. Different faces for different places, no federal cases. They try to take this but can't replace it, I know they hate it. You gotta crawl before you walk, you know the basics. Always had dreams like the king, I knew I would make it. Making executive decisions by running the streets and risk being took from my children. I came from a block where we barely lived in the building, but now the rooms are full with money stacked to the ceiling. We chillin', being a trapper turned rapper, my best friend Cecilia. He said, buddy, killer, I did it. Live your life, I'm living. Paint this picture is vivid, but they might not never get it. Took the thoughts on my brain and wrote it in composition. My flow is so proper. If I got it, just know I got you. Your bitch call me Papa, circle of life. Call me Mufasa. Back and forth from the doctor to say my heart proper. It's cold, but heart full of gold. Call it an Oscar. Step on toes to reach my goals. I'm calling it soccer. On the road, a passing goal. I'm calling Monopoly. Hey, life is a gift and curse. I really do this since birth. Hey, since the first day on earth.
Man, it's a little chilly out there, boy. Take a ride across town real quick. I'm in my bed as a fact now. They checking for me, the money and me. And ever since I came back round, the camera rolling. Oh man, hold on, my bad. We ain't know the camera was rolling, man.
Cameraman, keep the camera rolling, baby. Someone to take their hands on you. We in my old stomping grounds, man. We in my old stomping grounds, man. When people talk about partner rhythm, man, a lot of y'all know about that new school, man. I ain't. This where I was at, man. We ain't have no central air unit like that new school
Look
got.
at that.
And a lot of these air conditioners that's in this new building now, those weren't there when I was here. You know, when it was cold like it is now out here, it was cold in there. When it was hot like it is in the summer, it was hot in there, man. But that's where we used to have football practice at. You know what I'm saying? Everything just go back to choices and everything like that. As you can see, man, I went to high school in the middle of the hood, in the middle of Walnut Park, a private high school in the middle of Walnut Park. You know what I'm saying? This the first place that probably as a sophomore to my junior year in high school that stuff started getting real for me. You know, I came here as an athlete. I came here as I'm gonna hoop for one of the best high schools in the area. And my freshman year, I did that. My freshman year, I came in with a bang. You know, I was the only freshman on varsity. You know, I was on the JV team, but I suited up for varsity every game. You know, stuff like that. So stuff like that give you a confidence boost on like, I could really do this stuff, man. I could really do this stuff. You know, but like I said, this was the first place that made me feel like no matter who you are, no matter who you run into, no matter what you try to do, don't nobody owe you nothing in life. You know, luckily I was good on that football field too. That's why I really ended up thriving in the end. Not because I really wanted to play football. There's still a lot of people that don't know I was nice on that football field. You know what I'm saying? Ask around. They'll tell you about, you know, a lot of people know me from the court, from the basketball court. So my sophomore year was when I started running into troubles with the basketball stuff. Preston Thomas, legendary Preston Thomas, he ended up taking, man, that's one of my favorite coaches ever. Shout out Preston Thomas, man. One of my favorite coaches in the world, you know. He ended up taking a job with the Harlem Globetrotters, you know. Of course, you know, they paid him more money. He got a family he got to feed, bills he got to take care of, you know, stuff like that. We end up getting a new coach, man, and from there it was just downhill, you know. I don't really know what this guy had against me and stuff like that. And to this day, I hold the grudge, you know. And I'm gonna say his name when I get to that point, because this might be the only grudge in life that I hold, man. This might be the only grudge in life that I hold, that when I think about it, when I have to talk about it, it might be one of the only things in life that happened so long ago, but still piss me the fuck off to this day. And excuse my language, but that's how strongly I feel about the situation every time, you know. So I was hooping. It was me and Rodney Dawson. We was the backcourt our sophomore year and stuff like that, you know. So we had a bad season our sophomore. My sophomore year, Rodney junior. Going into my junior year, we got a new coach, Marvin Neals. A lot of people like him as a coach. A lot of people like him as a man. A lot of people, I don't give a fuck about him. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. This might be wrong for me to say, depending on how you may feel about him, but I'm just giving you my experience with Marvin Neals, which wasn't a good experience. It wasn't a good experience. My image, as you can see now, you know, is how I've always been. Mom Dukes took care of me. If I wanted a herringbone chain, a Byzantine chain, you know, she somehow got it for me. You know what I'm saying? I wore it to school. Back then I had braids and stuff. But you wasn't able to hoop on the team with braids. He was kind of an old school coach, but he'd let you have a fro. So man, I would get my hair braided on weekends. But by come Monday, I had already took the braids down and stuff, you know what I'm saying? So for some reason, I just could never get no rep with the guy. You know, I did everything he asked of me. And I worked hard in practice. My grades was good. You know, and I ain't gonna mention no other players on how I think it played out. You know, that's neither here nor there, because at the end of the day, I still feel like it was just about me and how I portrayed myself, but I was never disrespectful. I did everything coach said do. I did everything I was supposed to do in the classroom. I came to practice. I worked hard, this and that, all that kind of stuff, man. And my junior year, I couldn't see the floor, and we was losing. I couldn't see the floor. I couldn't see the floor. One of the most embarrassing moments in my life was part of my childhood, part of my teenagehood. I grew up in Normandy, Northwoods area. Where I played in that area. I had friends in there. Always went up to my grandma's house. You know, so Normandy Christmas tournament was a thing back then. It was a thing back then. So we got Hazelwood East the first game. But all my friends go to Normandy live, so I'm inviting everybody to the game. We play at 6:30. I don't remember if that was the exact time, but everybody in the building. I'm finna put on the show. Football season had just ended, so we get there late. You know, the football players come after football season end. We had a good football season that year, so we played a little longer, you know. So I came, you know, but we had Christmas tournament. You know, I had got no rec or nothing. We talking about Christmas now. Basketball start October. We start playing games November. We talking about the Christmas tournament now. Christmas, December 25th. So I'm just knowing, because I'm working my ass off in practice. I'm like, he gotta know me now. He gotta know me. I'm like that. He gotta know me. You know, Christmas tournament come. I invited everybody out, man. And first half, no rec. No minutes, no nothing. Dwayne Buchanan, the starting point guard, my cat. I like, shout out to Dwayne Buchanan, starting point guard, Hazelwood East. I can't wait to get in. I just know I'm finna give DB that work. You know what I'm saying? No rec. We losing. I'm like, oh man, it's first half, whatever. It's first half. I'm gonna be ready though. I'm gonna be ready. You know, so second half come, man. No rec. No cleanup minutes, no we losing at the end of the game minutes, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pissed at this point. I'm pissed. I went to the locker room, I done threw my jersey, like, guys, we losing to Hazelwood East and I can't get no rec, no minutes, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it just started tumbling downhill from there. But I'm gonna give you a moment, you know, that happened. And if I'm lying, I'm flying, man. Like I say, there's a lot of people that got respect for the guy because he ended up winning. And the biggest thing that's when I started learning about life. When you winning, no matter how you winning, when you winning and it represents an organization, you could go to the organization and say, man, I feel like I'm getting done a certain type of way. But if the organization winning, man, you just a crab in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't affecting the organization as a whole, that's when I start learning in life that if you got to look out for yourself no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So man, we had papers about it, all kind of stuff, man. I had a moment that year. Kill Center, Martin Luther King Classic. I'm taking y'all back, man. I'm talking that talk right now. Kill Center, Martin Luther King Classic. Played against SLU High School. We losing to SLU High School. SLU good now. Back then, they shouldn't have been beating us. SLU High School. Kill Center. Out the blue, my name called. I'm so shocked that I ain't even budged yet. They like, Reggie, you in? I'm like, huh? Man, I done took my shirt off. Man, he put me and Rodney in at the same time. Shout out my cat RD. Put me and Rodney in at the same time. Normally when Rodney in, I run the point. I told Rodney, I ain't running. I don't care who get the ball. I say, but if it end up in my hand, I'm shooting. That's it. I'm shooting it. Because that might be my only moment. Because this the only moment I done had up until this point. You know, so we losing the sloop. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. We get the ball in, man. We get the ball in. I ain't in the game 2 minutes. I ain't in the game 2 minutes, man. Come out, man, they swing the ball my way. I let it fly. 3. Run back down the court. I get a steal. But it wasn't a fast break. So I passed to the other person. I ran down, went and spotted up, got another 3. End up getting now another steal. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Another steal. Now, this is just me on a fast break. You know what I'm saying? You know, most people on fast break, they go for layups. Man, it's me and the rim and nobody. I stop. 3. I got like 9 points in 2 minutes. It wasn't no more than 2 minutes. Sluter called timeout, man. You know, I'm out now. I'm geek. Yeah. You know, so we in the huddle. Marvin Neals, man, it's crazy, bro. Every time I think about this, it just pisses me off. Marvin Neals, he ain't, you know, the team dapped me up, all that. Yeah, Reg, we chest pumping, all that kind of stuff. You know, he ain't, I looked at him, man, just to see what he was, man, he ain't even look my way. And he went straight to the other players, the players that he was starting over me. And he said, y'all just gonna let them come in here and do this? Y'all better get y'all shit together or I'm gonna have to give them y'all spot. I'm hearing this with my own ears. I'm hearing this. But at that point in time, I'm so geeked, I ain't worried about it. Because I'm like, yeah, you going to make me earn this? I've been trying to earn it, so I'm going to earn this. I'm going to earn your respect somehow, some way. You know, like I said, Slew called the timeout. We come out the hood, you know, we do the, you know, you do the whole 1, 2, 3 Ritter thing. I'm walking back out on the court, child. No bull. I'm walking back out on the court. Mug tapped me on the shoulder like, I got you. I'm like, you got me? It's like, yeah, I got you. You sub back out. I'm like, damn, for real? That was my last moment in a Corner Ritter basketball jersey. My last moment in a Corner Ritter basketball jersey. I'm going to tell y'all a quick story. The basketball coach, Marvin Neals, like I said, if I'm lying, I'm flying. This how crazy it is. He asked me one day in practice, told me that I needed to go to church with him. The man told me that I needed to go to church with him. I wanted to play so bad that I debated over it. I pondered over it and I pondered over it. I'm going to tell you what's so crazy about this story. He went to Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. If I'm lying, I'm flying. He went to Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. Y'all know where Antioch Missionary Baptist Church? My mama lived in the Ville. Antioch Missionary Baptist Church is in the Ville. Antioch Missionary Baptist Church is on North Market and Annie Malone. You know where North Market and Annie Malone is in reference to my mama house? 2 blocks. 2 blocks. So I could have walked there. I woke up that Sunday morning. I never told my parents this story. Never, not one time. I woke up that Sunday morning and I debated. And I said, I ain't going. Why I gotta go to church? Not anything that I had against church, but I just felt like I was being put in a situation to where it wasn't fair for me to have to do something to earn your respect. And I didn't do nothing to begin and to lose your respect. You know, you judged me off my image. You judged me off my character, which I didn't have a bad image or bad character. I just had swag. Even as a high school kid, I just had swag. You know, and you didn't like my swag. But my grades was better than the people that you played over me. I bust the people's ass in practice that you played over me. I respected you. I did what I was supposed to do. And you judged me by change and an afro or braids. And so that's why I ain't go to church. Because I just felt like nobody play me like that. And that was the last time after that was the last turning point. That was the last turning point of my high school basketball career with Cardinal Ritter. I could have transferred to Normandy. I was gonna actually try to transfer to Normandy behind my parents' back because they wanted me at Normandy. Malcolm Hill was the coach at Normandy at that time. You still had Arthur Clare, and I would have loved to play with Arthur Clare. You know what I'm saying? So he was still there at that time. But I was still playing football for Cardinal Ritter, and we was good. So I still had football left. That's the reason that I didn't transfer. But I was supposed to tell this story on the podcast, on Ice Cold Facts podcast, but me and him ain't did it yet. So y'all might hear this story again on Ice Cold Facts in more detail. You know what I'm saying? But it's so crazy that, and like I said, this may be bad, but how I feel about the situation is how I feel about it. And nobody can change that. A couple years back, you know, it was something circulating that Tag got sick, was getting sick, and all that kind of stuff. It got to me. I think my partner, Dominic Martin, shout out Dominic Martin, Next Level Skills Academy. He went to Cardinal Ritter too. He hit me up like, man, yeah, you know, Marvin Neal's sick or whatever. I was just really like, man, what you telling me for? You know, and maybe that's bad. Maybe that's bad. But when somebody don't give you a chance for no reason, and that stick with me right here, that stick with me, man. That was like a blow to my chest. That was like a blow to my chest. And I still never got an explanation as to why I got done like that. Why I got done like that. I went to the school, I went to the principal, I went to the dean. Nobody had no conversation about it. So winning state championships and stuff like that. So when he put himself in position for things like that, what the organization was gonna say. That's bringing money to the school. That's bringing money to the program. That's bringing eyeballs to the program. So what the organization, I was just one man. What the organization was gonna say. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one of them moments in my life to where I just feel like, whether it be somebody I know personally, individually, a job, I'd never let nobody do me like that ever again in life. Not ever. Not ever. You know, I went to a couple alumni games and he'd be there. I just walk. He tried to speak, or I just walked right past. I'm like, bro, I ain't got nothing to say to you. I ain't got nothing to say to you. We talking about 10, 20 years later. This year is my 20-year high school anniversary. So in 10 years, we had an alumni game. He was there. He wanted to chop it up. What we talking about? I ain't got nothing to say to you. I just act like he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably the only grudge that I've ever held that I still hold on in life to this day. You know what I'm saying? But if I had to tell them something, man, all that what you thought about me, I turned out to be a pretty good individual, my dude. You know what I'm saying? And it just is what it is, man. It just is what it is, you know? So these was my old stomping grounds, man. This is where I started learning how to be a man, what it was gonna take to survive in life, all that good kind of stuff, man. Everything else kind of just working itself out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cardinal Ritter. It was a good school. As you can see, we in the hood. We in the hood, baby, but it was a good school, good education, you know, small school. I think my senior class probably only graduated. We only had probably like 35 people or something back in that day, you know, but we turned up, man. We turned up, man. As bad as I didn't want to go here in the beginning, I wouldn't have it no other way. You know, I didn't mess with Cardinal Ritter, the new establishments, for a while because they wasn't bringing people back into the building that was alumni of the building. You know, when it was time to hire new coaches and stuff like that, there was people that was in position to coach that they didn't hire, and they would go get outside people. Like, I never understand how you get a Vaishon guy to coach at Cardinal Ritter when you got a Cardinal Ritter guy that's applying for the job that's got experience to coach. But to each his own, man. It is what it is. But now they got people in place to where I go support the school and stuff like that now. They got RJ over there coaching. He always been solid. Know him from back in the CBC days. They got Ramey over there. I met some new people that end up being involved with Coach BG and stuff like that. BG cool, you know, shout out BG. They end up bringing Shantae. I think Shantae gone. Dude named Shantae Lyons. He was the starting quarterback my freshman year. Coming back to Ritter, you know. So I wasn't gonna let the Marvin Neal situation keep me out the school forever. But that was one of the biggest reasons I never went back to the school. And I just feel like nobody ain't had my back the way I felt like they should have had my back, especially by me never doing nothing wrong. But like I said, man, that's just one of them things in life where it puts you in position and it lets you know and tell you that you can't rely on nobody else. You gotta ride your own wave and grind your own grind. Because if you're relying on somebody else to get you where you want to be, it might not never work out like that. Might not never work out like that, man. And that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. So this was a for real cornerstone in my life, you know. And looking back on it now, standing here today, man, I'm glad I went through every bit of it. I'm glad I went through every bit of it. Because Marvin Neals, I turned out to be an okay individual, man. And I knew I was going to be. I was an okay individual then. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for giving me that lesson. You know what I'm saying? I still don't fuck with you. I still won't speak to you, still won't talk to you. I don't wish nothing bad on you, but that relationship you and I got, it just is what it is, man. It just is what it is. You probably don't even remember me. I don't know. You remember me. How could you forget me? You remember me. And I most definitely remember you. You know, so there's no disrespect to anybody that supports him or his family or anything like that. I don't feel like he gave a fuck about me. So what's the point of me giving a fuck about him? And that's just how I feel about that situation. You know, but we gonna be back with some more, man. I hope y'all tuned in to this doc. Just trying to show y'all, man, this is what I go through in life. This is what I've been through in life. And you don't gotta be a rich person to tell a story, man. You just gotta be rich in spirit and rich in the grind. And everything else gonna play itself out, man. And that's what we do, man. Retro gang. Yes, sir.
Let them know about Mama I gave y'all a whole lot of love, and your grandparents did too. That helps when you in an environment that you grew up in. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of kids I let in this house, spending the night and hiding and all of that to get away from their environment, and they still call me Mama Robin to this day because I showed them that, and they didn't envy y'all, but they was, you know, it was something to see. Mm-hmm. It was something to see. People didn't grow up saying I love you to their kids and sons especially, and that's what y'all need.
Right.
You know, just let the people know that you didn't know we didn't have much, but you was loved. Mm-hmm. You still tired. I texted to you. I ain't know if you still was filming or not, but that's what I wanted to see you.
Okay.
You know, I loved y'all.
Hold a shotgun on the rooster and dare him to crow. Hot foot anybody sleeping, make him get out on the floor. 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 Get out on the floor.
Go in here, get some wreck in with the guys, man. I ain't got hoop dreams no more. I told y'all that earlier, but I still got it a little bit.
Get out on the floor. out on the floor.
Making choices. Yeah, I know how it is in St. Louis when the sun come out. It's 75 degrees right now. I could have chose to go anywhere, get into anything, get off into anything. This right here, man, save your life, man. Save your life. So kids, teens, young adults, you done heard me say it a million times in this documentary. You always got a choice. Always got a choice. You always got a choice. Bruh, this wasn't no moment about being precise. Huh?
No, something precise like that.
Mike better give her a pocketbook. Man, I remember I sold Wayne that S and I regretted it. Then I let the mug sit for at least 3 months. Sold it to this nigga, he got it right up and going. I'm like, that's some bullshit. How you doing? Did you paint that car or kept it the factory color?
Painted, I put the graphics on there.
The graphics,
yeah.
Yeah.
I put the graphics on there.
I'm saying Cutlass.
Hey, how you doing?
That Cutlass I got from Scooter, I sold it to this dude I was working at Street Legends with, Brian. Remember Brian we worked at Street Legends with?
I ain't got time for your little lunch break. You gotta take care of business, please.
Everybody had, man, we done been from the old schools to the new schools, Monte Carlos.
This why he don't want no old school no more.
Oh, he done had plenty of them movies.
Yeah, he said he don't want no more.
Yeah, he done had plenty of them movies.
Yeah, I'm tapped out on old school, man.
You gotta get the 4Gs on the vet, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Get them 4Gs, nigga!
Then again, I might not.
Here this nigga go. He put the spoiler on, now he good.
I don't wanna pay that, dude.
Man, here this nigga go. You buy 3 pair of washing names, that's your 4Gs.
It's yours.
Close enough. And you gonna get the matching shirts too, so that's 4Gs right there.
Then you rather have the clothes over the wheels.
He don't need them though.
I ain't necessarily saying that. I just know that shit ain't.
Man, tell him to buy the 4Gs, man. You gotta get the 4Gs on the vet, man. And put the big 28 4Gs on the. Put them the 4Gs.
That's a 4G.
That's your light on you? We used to just always be down here just kicking it. I mean, even to this day, we down here just kicking it, man. We just a close-knit group. You know, everybody had their issues and problems at times, but one thing we never did was we always kept it amongst us. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of niggas like to spread. You see what's the name on Instagram right now? He's still like, bro, just live your life, bro. He doing too much, dog.
You already got robbed.
Man, you already got your stuff took and all that, man. So now you back on, man. So he already at Mickey getting
you see that?
Man, you ain't gonna try to get your own. I'm gonna stay out of that one, man.
That nigga's messy. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah, man. We gonna stay away from that, man. That's why I be telling y'all, man. Choices, man. Y'all, if you make choices, man, good choices. You ain't gotta be all off into that nonsense and drama. We gonna get money. We gonna do our thing, and we gonna live and shine for us, man. We ain't gonna get all off into that nonsense, you know. And this always a hard topic and always a hard subject to bring up, but it's just part of our life. It's just something that stick with us. And I always ask myself, and I'm pretty sure I asked my partners a couple times, but I don't really know if we ever really like talked about it. I think we always just be like, man, you know. So y'all. Lil Terry, bro. Lil Terry.
Ain't no more Reggie.
Man, one of the worst.
Coolio.
One of the worst. What you talking about, Snow Cone?
Your name Coolio.
Coolio. Yeah, been living most our lives.
You know Coolio
in
is. I'm gonna get you that hat. That's my
I know who Coolio is, man.
Cat 21 last night. Clowning, boy.
You drunk all that Jack?
No, I got half of it.
Oh, you finna drink the rest tonight after that cheeseburger?
No, I'm gonna.
He's even got that cheeseburger with sauteed onions.
I was working out at the Amara store, man, counting big money. I used to work in the count room at the Amara store. This is one of the worst days of my life. I was working at the count room out at the Amara store. Big money. I mean, can you imagine just counting millions and millions of dollars every day? This is money that people lost. Like, we used to pull this money out the slot machines and count it every morning. I used to have to be to work at like 3:30, 4 in the morning, and we used to have all that money counted by the time the casino opened up. You know what I'm saying? So you talking about millions. This money that people straight losing, you know, and I just got the worst phone call ever. You know, when I got the phone call, I ain't believe it. I'm like, man, what? I don't know what you talking about. I just talked to that fool last night. Like, what you talking about? Like, come on, miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? So my boss at the time, it was this lady. I don't even remember her name. She was like, nah, Reggie, you gotta go. And I was like, I gotta go? Like, for real? What's going on? You know? And you know how you be calling people and they ain't answering the phone? So now you get nervous. You like, damn, what's up? Why ain't nobody answering the phone? So we was... I mind you, I got the Monte Carlo. Well, I got the red one at that time. It got the 22s on it. I got the red one, the pace card edition at that time. I'm all the way out at the Murrah store, St. Charles. I'm flying down 70. Nobody still ain't answering the phone, nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, where was they at, bro? On Lincoln, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On Lincoln. Man. Nobody still ain't answering the phone, no nothing. I can't get in touch with nobody. I finally got down there, and when I got to the street before I made that right, like soon as I made that right turn on Lincoln, I just seen everybody standing in front of the house, and I just stopped in the middle of the street, and I was just like, man, you gotta be kidding me right now. You gotta be kidding me. And then so when I finally got the guts to pull up, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember if it was you or Masherie.
Me, Masherie, and the daddy.
Yes.
Big Terry.
And they just came and grabbed me.
Well, the mama was there too.
Yeah. And they just came and grabbed me. And right then and there, I knew. Like, it was just a moment that I never forget. You know what I'm saying? Cause it just hit, man. It's just something that hit. And it's just so unexpected, man. Like, man, our nigga he wasn't off into no bull. You know, he ain't bother nobody. You know, we was just doing our thing. You know, we ain't bother nobody. We just trying to get a couple dollars in our pocket. That's it, man. You know, so, man, put it on my tab. Put it on my tab. So we just, I think we, especially with what we be experiencing here in the present, you know, like traveling more and all that kind of stuff, I think we be okay But you always just have them moments or them thoughts like, damn, like what if Lil Terry was here?
Yeah.
Like what we'll be doing? Like what, you know, it'll be, cause he was the extra one. If you want to be totally honest, he was the one that was always into it. If we was right here, he was up here. You know, so you know, if we was like, man, we gonna go to Vegas, it's like, all right, well, we gonna go to Vegas and stay here. He'll be like, nah, we gonna go to Vegas and stay here. You know what I'm saying? So you could just, sometimes I just picture it and envision it like it just would be different. You know what I'm saying? But I had some moments of my own, cause my homeboys get on me, you know, like, man, you just be working, you know, and we done lost a couple more homeboys, man. Rest in peace, Lil J, man. And so sometimes you just got to get that time in with your peoples, you know, because you just never know. We hate to put it that way, you know, but you just never know. You know what I'm saying? I don't be all off into nothing, but really don't nobody be off into nothing, and shit just happen. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times I come down on the block still and just to play cards or something. I be getting fucked up too in cards. Like these niggas be tagging me. But it don't even be about winning or losing the money. It just be about that enjoyment that you just having with your partners and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So when we go out of town and stuff, it's pretty much us. We sit over here, we play cards. You can't drop this nigga nothing on this nigga floor, so don't do that. You can't drop nothing on this nigga floor. This nigga gonna have a fit. You know what I'm saying? So just really the whole documentary just been about just elevating from everything that you done been through. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot of excuses that we could use as people saying this or that, what we got, what we ain't got. You know, you just gotta make do with what you got and just choose the right things. And you know, for the most part, it should work out. So, man, y'all got partners out there, family, whatever the case may be, man. Life too short to be holding on to them grudges and all that stuff, especially if it's something that all you gotta do is make a simple phone call and just talk about it. I mean, we done been through it, you know, but like I said, we kept it in the family. It wasn't nothing that we had to give to the outside world or nothing like that. And then when it was time for us to talk, 5 minutes later, what we do? Go to Houston like the next month or some shit? But it just, you know, you can't hold on to nothing that don't really make no sense to hold on to, cause you look up, we lost Lil J. Who else? You know, Mitch, rest in peace, Mitch. You know, Huey. Man, just, it's so many people that you can't even think off the top of your head, like who? You know what I'm saying? And it just, man, life's short, man. Life's short. They don't have no expiration date. Big Bo, you know, rest in peace. Man, rest in peace, Bo. That was so unexpected. And it's almost like, I hate to put it like this, because it's like we all said the same thing, so it's almost like he knew something was finna happen.
Cause he reached out to
yeah, cause he like reached out to all,
people. Like within them past few days.
Yeah.
See, he most definitely reached out to me.
Yeah, he reached out to me just talking about the podcast episode and just Gur and all that kind of stuff. And then, so I pretty much said the same thing, like, yeah, man, I just talked to Bo. And then everybody else was like, yeah, I just talked to him too. He just reached out to me. We's like, yeah, man, don't nobody else just call just to say what's up. Bo always just gonna call just to say what's up. Yeah. Y'all know him as Love. We know him as Big Bo. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when we got the news on that happen, Sean, what was that? I called you and said,
yeah, we seen it. You called me,
yeah.
Like, man, is this real? I'm like,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then come to find out, it ended up being true. You know what I'm saying?
That was sad too.
It's straight sad. It's a crazy world that you almost to the point to where you like, we happy at least he ain't get killed or nobody ain't do no dumb stuff to a good dude. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that it's so reckless these days that you gotta say something like that, you know. But overall, just losing somebody like that, it still kind of hit. You know what I'm saying? Just cause he was just an overall good dude. You know, I mean, his name was Love, and he ain't do nothing but show love. So when you lose people like that, it just hit different. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons. You know, I had to just look at stuff. Wham, we call this nigga Wham Wham. He be getting mad at me because I say I'm gonna do something. And then when that time come, he calling, man, where you at, man? You say, you know, one day he got on me like, man, you gotta stop saying if you ain't gonna do it, just say you ain't gonna do it.
I'm just the type of nigga where be on point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
If you say something, stand behind that, or if you tell me you're gonna do something, do it. And it be petty shit, but I just want you to be on point. Like, if you know you can't do this or you ain't gonna make it, just tell me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, this ain't gonna happen. So it just I got to the point to like, man, I'm finna have to talk to this nigga. Like, 'cause you ain't finna keep.
Man, that nigga ain't talk to me. That nigga snapped on me, man.
I mean, I don't want to tell the camera that, but you know.
Yeah, but it makes sense though. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It could be a conversation on like, I was supposed to go out with my guys the night before and something happened to me the next day. Now the story is like, damn, we were just supposed to do this. If he'd have just came, then it probably could have been a different scenario. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know, man. You just never know. You know, but man, we just grinding, just trying to show people that there's other ways. He got the math money popping, and it's like up here, man. You know, it started from nothing. Now it's up here, man. You know, got the ATR popping. You know, Sean just in between. You know, so Sean gonna probably do everybody heating and cooling on this block, but he just in between, you know. He math money, he ATR, but together we a whole though. You know what I'm saying? We come from the same shit. You know what I'm saying? And we support each other grind, but it ain't like no individual stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's really all just like one thing, just cause we family. You know what I'm saying? So any man, to you kids out there, that's all I did. I just came up with something. I just woke up one day and said I wanted to do a documentary. I'm just a regular nobody.
No script, no nothing.
Yeah, no script, no nothing. I'm just a regular nobody. I just be waking up saying I want to do stuff. So, you know, my nigga, he started the Mad Money Girl. You know what I'm saying? And shoot,
wasn't even expected.
Wasn't expected. He can't keep a hoodie in stock. You know what I'm saying? But that's just part of the grind. So that's why I just been trying to talk to you kids, talk to you youth, you young teenagers, you young adults, and say, man, you just got to come up with something that you like and do it. Y'all got to stop looking at all this stuff for what it is, because a lot of the times it's what it ain't. You know what I'm saying? And it's safer ways to be safe, and it's safer ways to make money. And the only thing you got to do is just get to it, believe in yourself, and get to it, and everything else will play its part, man. Yeah, it's definitely gonna fall in place. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer, man. We getting down to the end of this thing. 314 day, man. 314 day coming, man. Shout out Dip, man. He do his thing in the city. Shout out Shorty. Shout out whoever, man. Cause 314 day. Black Season on 314 day. Shout out Black Season. There's probably so many hands on 314 that everybody gonna have something going on. We just gonna be getting back too.
Yeah, we get back that day. So.
Yeah.
It's it.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be getting off a flight, man. But
Reggie, you doing something tonight, Reggie?
Oh, here they go, trying to trap me already. I ain't got an answer right now, dude. I can see.
You can answer on the flight on the way to the.
Yeah, I can see how I feel coming back. You know, cause y'all.
Man, he told me he ain't going to no strip club. He said Houston, he ain't going to no strip club.
Man, I'm not all three. I'm sleeping in the truck one of them nights, cause I already know y'all going every night. Man, but
but that's cool. But then you gonna be the main one up in the morning. Come on, niggas,
yeah.
You gotta jam.
Just give me the truck key till y'all wake up. I'm outside.
Man, you know I get up early anyway. I'll be up early anyway.
Man, but we ain't, that's pretty much it, man. We getting down to the end of this thing, man. We probably got one more thing that I need to touch bases on, man. And then that's it, man. It's my nigga Weez, man. It's my nigga Sean. You know, Mav Money, A-List.
Yes, sir.
Call that nigga Rick Ross, because he got all... How many chains you got, Sean? I'm talking too much on the camera.
It's 4, that's it.
That's it, 4, that's it. He got big pendants, too. Big pendants, you know.
He a
My
big boy, nigga.
Man,
Big boy.
Weez, you just did that photo. Hey, that photo shoot was tough.
Right on.
That photo shoot. Hey, did you take every picture with your head down, though?
Hey, nah, I got plenty. I got all the pictures, not like that. But it's really about the brand. You don't got to see my face.
That's true.
You know
That's
what
true.
I'm saying? Like, it's
That's
just
true.
about the brand, because I really didn't want to do them. I just felt my first photo shoot had to be with me. You know what I'm saying? The next ones, I'm not getting it no more. That's the last time they gonna see me.
I'm standing all my photo shoots. You don't see me. I'm standing all my. I ain't paying nobody to model nothing.
Yeah, so that's. But you know what I'm saying? I just want to show I got big people in it, slim girls in it. You know, slim nigga. I just
I feel
mix
that.
it up. You know
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
that. Yeah. I feel that. See what I'm saying, man? We just getting to it, man. We just getting to it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, man. And y'all can do it too, man. You young kids out there, man, stay out these streets, man. Ain't nothing in these streets. Ain't nothing in these streets. Like I told y'all earlier, if your big homie ain't telling you to go home because you ain't built for these streets, he ain't your big homie. He ain't your big homie. Back when I was growing up, hey, man, you better take this basketball and go on about your business. And that's what I did. That's what I did. You know, and you live to tell it. You live to hear about it. You live to see it. You know what I'm saying? I never been no violent person, but don't test me now. Don't test me. Don't test me. I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Nah, I ain't on that. I ain't on that. Yeah, man, that's it, man. Shout out my cameraman Ghost, man. Talk to him behind the scenes, man.
Oh.
Yeah, man, we working, man.
Man,
We
we
know
working,
what it
man.
is.
We working, man. Shout out Buddy.
They know what it is.
Shout out Mav Money. Shout out,
That's it.
man. The shout outs could go up. Man, shout out the city, man. Shout out St. Louis and everybody that's doing their thing. Everybody that's trying to do something positive. If you ain't all off into no bullshit, man, shout out to you, man. Anybody else that's off into that bull, man, get off that bull, man. Cause we could talk about a bunch of bull, cause we see it. But we gonna stay off of that, man. We gonna stay off of it. There ain't no point. There ain't no point, man. Y'all ain't gotta be on that bull, man. Get your money, do your thing, and that's that. That's that. You ain't gotta down nobody in the process. None of that. None of that. Just live your life the way it's supposed to be lived, and everything else gonna fall into place, man. We gonna tap in with y'all. Until the next time, we out. What you doing?
Nothing. Where you at?
I'm on meth. How add your sister?
Here I am. She not even there.
Just call her on her phone.
She right. She right here. Hello?
What you doing, Nino?
Nothing. Just that I ain't seen it.
Oh, FaceTime us.
Dad, what you FaceTime us for?
Because I need her to. Would you just listen to me? I'm trying to do something. Add your sister.
Get already.
Y'all doing too much.
No, that's you.
Ugly shit. Where she at?
You right there?
What's up, gang?
What's up?
What y'all on? You had to braid her today? Tutu, how was school?
Good.
Did you do what you supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gotta bust you up, do it.
No.
You did your homework? Why she ain't having
Cause I don't.
it? So I ain't finna hear nothing about. I ain't finna hear nothing about. You ain't did your work and stuff when report cards and stuff come out, right?
Yep.
I am gonna hear that.
No. Oh my bad. No.
Oh, okay.
Nino, what you doing? You happy? You happy you started your thing, Nino?
Yeah.
You excited? You excited about it? Tutu, I might can start you one too. A bank account. A bank account. You excited about it, Nine? Huh? Where he at? Tell him I said what up. I ain't want nothing. I was just seeing what y'all was doing. I wanted to just tell y'all I love y'all. Y'all need anything? What you finna say? Some money? Cause you on punishment still.
Yeah, I need
You need what? Okay. I know where to get some money from for you. I can go to the bank. I'm gonna withdraw your money and give it to you. How about that? Huh? You said that's okay?
No.
Oh, but you won't spend my money.
Yep.
Oh. Tutu, if you give me some, if you give me some good reports from your teachers, I'll let you off punishment. Better tell them to call me or something.
I told her to call you, but she never called you.
I'll call her. What about the other classes? Alright. Y'all getting ready for bed and school tomorrow? Y'all got school tomorrow?
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, well, I'll talk to y'all. I ain't calling y'all back tonight. I'll call y'all tomorrow.
Alright.
Alright, I love y'all. Alright, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.